Rick Wedell, President and Chief Investment Officer at RFG Advisory. Your firm recently launched the Bluemonte ETFs. What exactly are they and what do they do?
Yeah, excellent, excellent. The Bluemonte ETFs are a suite of about 9 different ETF products. They're really designed to be a complete asset management solution for client accounts. So, one of the first sort of ETF portfolios in the industry, where it's really built so that to be a complete asset management solution. There are 5 equity ETFs spanning all the different categories that you'd expect: a growth fund, a core fund, a value fund, sort of a domestic global fund, and then an international fund, as well as 3 funds on the fixed income side and an income focused kind of go anywhere fund. And they're really designed, once again, not necessarily to be a standalone offering, but to really fit together like a puzzle to be a complete asset management solution for clients.
Now, what benefit do you think that these ETFs might be able to provide investors, and what gaps in the market are they aiming to fill?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a couple of really specific benefits. The first is that one of the most innovative things that we're doing here is that these funds are designed to fit together. Most asset managers, most investment strategists out there use what I'll call more of a best of breed approach to asset management. So they go out there and they look to find the best value fund that they can or the best growth fund that they can. And then they put them together. And, the problem there is that the right hand doesn't necessarily always know what the left hand is doing at all times, right? And you can imagine if you're a unnamed value fund out there and you're trying to make yourself look better versus all the other value funds that are out there, you might scratch your head and say, hey, maybe Apple's a value stock, right? Or maybe something, like I might want to drift into a area of the market that might be a little hotter than my core sector. And if you're somebody who's screening for the best value manager, right? And by the way, value is just one example, but if you're somebody who's screening for just the best value manager, you might be tempted to say like, well, wow, that value manager's had really great performance. And so you might be tempted to select them. And we found that if you were constructing portfolios in this fashion, the fact that the left hand didn't always know what the right hand was doing means that you might get some overlap, you might get some unintentional tilts, you might get some drift within the portfolio. That really wasn't what you wanted when you created the overall strategy. So the first point is by having sort of centralized control and by making sure that, when we market these things, we market it as a complete asset solution, not necessarily as, one fund for growth and, one fund for value. We can kind of eliminate that drift. Second thing is really tax. The benefit of knowing where everyone else's positions are is that if we want to, let's say, increase your allocation to value. Well, we could do that by telling you to go sell your growth fund and buy your value fund. And the problem is that creates a taxable event. Um, if instead we said like, hey, we'd really like everybody to own a little bit more value right now, we can take that core fund and actually tilt it towards value. And if you do that inside the ETF wrapper, then that's not a taxable event for the clients. And so it creates a way to reposition for portfolios while avoiding realized capital gains for clients.
Now, what else has been going on lately at RFG Advisory?
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of things on the asset management side, which we are super, super excited about. We just recently launched sort of a model marketplace where, both these funds that are in Bluemont, but also models from Fidelity and Cohen and Steers and Allianz and First Trust can all be sort of blended and mixed and matched in ways to create, unique portfolios for advisors and their clients that address sort of specific needs. Figuring out ways to bring in both other third-party asset managers, but also, some nuanced, alternatives or Bitcoin or whatever else might be out there, in ways that really can create customized portfolios for their advisors and their clients. And so we're super excited about that innovation on the portfolio management side.
Rick, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.